Hey, it's that time again. It's Beyond the Headlines on West Island News, and I am here with my favorite journalistic friend, Kevin Woodhouse. Nice to see you,
Hey,
Kev.
Rhonda.
How you doing?
Good, thank you. Very nice.
We've done so many new things with our show, and Beyond the Headlines has become quite a fun thing for us to do. We gather the news that you need for the week, but we also have a little caveat. Do you want to tell us about the little surprise we have now on our show?
Yes, and I'm not only can I tell you about our little surprise, but we have our first winner from last week's show, which we're going to announce at the end of this segment, or at the end of this program. So Ron and I, we talk enough in between these shows, and what tends to get in the headlines lately: doom, gloom, worse, sad. We're all depressed. We're all, hiding in the fetal position in our homes. So we thought we got to do something nice. So it was the We Want to Make Your Day giveaway. So we started that last week, and our sponsor for the next month or the next three after this is Cunningham's. And they're doing their sauce sampler. They're very selling out in stores sauce sampler, I may add. So we have our first winner. We're going to announce our first winner at the end of this program, and then let it go, and then tell you how to win for next week.
All right. So while we are speaking, anybody that puts their name in the comment section is automatically entered to win. So let's get started, Kev. What have we got on tap for today's windup of the news?
Well, I thought we'd actually turn it over to you for the first one, because you guys are doing something really neat at the West Island News blog. You're doing a virtual Easter egg hunt. And when you described that to me first, I was like, that's sort of like a Pokemon Go for Easter. So that sounds great. Tell us about it.
That is fantastic. And contrary to last week, I'm just going to put my phone on Do Not Disturb because, last week it interrupted me. Okay, so Easter egg hunt. This is going to be an all weekend deal, depending on, I figured for the timings, depending on when you go to church, what you're doing with your kids, whatever's going on. I would say we're gathering, but we're not doing that. So forget that. Scratch the gathering. We took 6 parks, I believe it's 6 or 8 parks. We were deciding on between 6 and 8 parks. You will only find out the details when you log into the story. So you have to, you have to go onto the Facebook page. All the deets are there. And what happened is you're going to go to the park. Please don't remove the virtual eggs. They are basically 8.5 by 11 eggs with a skew, like that square.
The code.
I'm showing my age. What is it?
It's like a code.
Yeah, the code. Okay, so I'm showing my age. Wow. Okay, so you've got the code.
Right.
You do whatever it takes. Chris, the youngsters in my world, I want to thank Canada Youth job programs, because I have 2 students that are working for me right now, and they are absolutely magnificent. Dario is a constant, but he's not part of that particular program. So Chris and Alessandro, my young people have put on this virtual. So the technical part, you're going to have to follow and figure it out with the guys. It's all well done. You go into the park, you look around, you find the actual 8 eggs that are in this park. You fill in the thing online, and guess what you can win? Oh my God, what could you win?
I don't know, but it sounds good. What is it?
It's a 3-foot Easter egg. Easter bunny. It's a bunny. It's the whole bunny. Right now he's in DJ's room because DJ's, playing hockey. So he's it. So we've got now, and also we've got Provigo Le Marché Kirkland that is giving us a basket, and Indigo is giving us a little bit of a treat as well. So we have 3 prizes. So get on out there, get your Easter on, get your egg hunt going on, and it doesn't matter how many times you enter. Do your thing. It's good. Every time you find an egg, you get your name in the bin. I don't care if you do all 8 parks. Do whatever the heck you want. It's a beautiful experience. God willing, sometime on this weekend, it's going to be sunny. You grab your phone, you grab your kids, you go outside, you're still safe, and you're still having Easter.
Well done. Now, I guess you can encourage people, I'm hoping too, to sort of post as they go. Let us know how their progress is.
Right? We're going to have a little place. You can put it in the comments. I wish I had said I thought of it, Kev, but now it's there. We're going to do it.
Well, that sounds great. I like that you're bringing the Easter spirit alive. I mean, we recently had the latest press conference from the provincial government said, don't get together at Easter with your family, but we're opening up the high schools again, which is, I would say, a massive miscalculation on my part, in my opinion. It seems with about technically 1 school term left. I understand the reasoning behind it is the provincial government want the high school students to be able to get back and see themselves, see each other, socialize.
it's a mental health thing. That's the reason they did it. I
Correct.
agree. I find it confusing because we're allowed.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. However, we're about to hit a third wave that has decidedly more variance than we used to. I think my wife's a high school teacher, and the 1 day on, the 1 day off for the high school kids has worked all right. The notion of
Correct me, Kevin, does that mean we have two bubbles? I don't have a high school student. Unfortunately, everybody in my world can't leave the
so
house.
basically day one is in 2 days. So A group goes to school on day one, and B group goes to school the following day. So the 9 day schedule has been turned into 18, so
So
they can get
it's two
everyone.
bubbles. It's two
Correct.
bubbles that we're now bringing together.
Yeah, so everyone's going to
And
be.
wait, let's be clear. I still can't have my kids over for Easter.
See, that's the confusing thing. We're told this afternoon that, yeah, you can have your children over, you can have your loved ones over, but let's repack the schools. It'll be fine. I
Yeah.
think that's a hasty judgment. I guess we're going to have to see. I just think it's unfortunate that they're playing math with cases and hospitalizations. I think it might be a different story if all the teachers and the school workers, the school staff had a chance to be vaccinated first before they tried this. So I really have to say, in my opinion, this is a big miscalculation. And
like you said, with 52 days left of school, like, was it now that we needed to risk it? Like we've been so diligent. I mean, I'm personally, I kind of want to, I kind of, some of the stuff that they take out doesn't make sense with the other stuff that they leave in. Like, why aren't we at restaurants? To me, the spitting part in a restaurant, I get.
right.
So then I don't understand. We're in school because we're facing straight with a mask on. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. And also we can go to church now, which is great, but then we can't meet with the people we go to church with to go back and celebrate Easter dinner with. So I know that these rules are confusing and the things change as they go. I know that breeds frustration for people. I would imagine being a restaurant owner and you just want to open up your patio because patios are allowed.
Patios is key. I was over at Toisseurs and Toisseurs there on St. John's, and I was there this week, and like let them open the patio.
Yeah.
You know, that they could really like help themselves out.
Well, I mean, look, there were some experts who were saying, you know, let's encourage people to group, but outside, and in some ways, just throwing back to your virtual Easter egg hunt, you're going to get families outside in their respective bubbles, but they're at least going to be outdoors together. I think they should encourage more of that. Now, you obviously can't do that in a high school, but I guess this is one of those things that we'll just have to keep following, and maybe like a lot of things happen as cases go up, things, you know, freedoms or the ability to assemble in public will reduce itself.
Well, we did well last summer, masked and outside. We had no cases at the lakeshore during the month of, I think it was July and August, we had 0 cases.
Yeah, so that is good. And with the, you know, with the warmer weather coming, I can't wait to do this show remotely.
At the Cunningham's, I'm dying to go.
Oh, absolutely. So you know, as the warmer weather gets better, we'll see how people feel, especially also in the news today, Canada's getting a decidedly larger number of Pfizer doses earlier than predicted. So
we have to do something because AstraZeneca.
Yeah, we'll see what happens about the rollout. So
all right,
anyway, high schools. Yeah.
Let's move on from this topic because we're all sick of hearing about it.
Correct. So let's move on to someone we both know, a really dedicated man. He grew up in Bay Durfee. Jim Morrison. We worked with him together in the past, but there's a guy he's raised in the years thousands of money for cancer. He used to do squash tournaments when you could get together and do squash tournaments.
The pandemic did not stop Jim. What he did was
Jim would do dart fundraisers too. He always did things that were fun and bringing people together. And now he's got a latest one that he's raising money for charity. Rhonda, what's Jim's latest adventure?
Okay, he has donated in the last year. He did $7,000 collected and delivered to West Island Community Shares for just by collecting cans.
That's 5 cents a throw, folks. That takes 20 cans to make a buck. So that's a tremendous account.
He would like us to head on over to his page, Jim Morrison, and there's I forget, I'm drawing a blank, Kev, what's the name of the organization or the group page that he has? One Care, one. I've lost it. I lost it.
It escapes
Anyway,
me.
head over to Jim's Facebook page, Jim Morrison, and that's it's on his Facebook page, but you can see the link to one. I'll have it by the end of this. I'll look it up when
Yeah, we'll have it. We'll correct our mistake, folks.
collect your cans. He will come and get them. However, he works it out. Collect your cans. This is an initiative that costs you nothing. He will take care of it. He will help you out. And this goes to the West Island Community Shares. And he is diligent with the philanthropy.
Absolutely,
Out
yeah.
there. He is
Yeah.
totally out there. So
Yeah.
it's an important one, and it's a good one. And he's our guy. We kind of love him.
Oh, yeah. Nice shout out for Jim, and always doing something for the community.
One team, one dream, cancer care. One team, one dream, cancer care. That's the group page.
Right. It used to be Jimbo's. It used to be Jimbo's cure for cancer awareness, but that's right. It's changed. So
it had to switch.
Yeah. Thanks for clearing it up.
Trying to. He's very diligent. He doesn't give up. So head on over there. Give us your empties. Check out with this group. DM Jim, and you will have that figured out. It's a good one, and it's an easy one. And we're cleaning our garages. I know Dan and I have to do the garages this weekend. So, you know.
And according to statistics, we've all been a little bit more during this pandemic. So I'm sure we have more empties than we're used to. So yeah, head him on over to Jim, or he'll come by, and I'm sure he can collect them contactless. So wow, $7,000 already to the West Island Community Shares. What a great guy!
Remember that last year? What am I saying? Like 2-3 years ago, I did the can man, the gentleman that goes around with his can, yes. 12 grand a year in cans.
Amazing.
I want to just take a smidge note before we move on. Head on over to the West Island Women's Shelter page. Their mask, their Speak Out mask is there, and it would be a great gift for Easter. It would be a great thing to get. You donate while buying your mask. They are doing a great campaign. You can find the info on my page, on my personal page, Rhonda Masad Personal. It's all there. Also on the West Island News page. Moving on from that, Kev, what's going on with the elections? What's going on with, I think, Kader's?
I want to talk about the worst kept secret in Montreal that's now out of Big surprise, everybody. Denis Coderre is running for mayor. He wants to run in the November municipal election to be mayor. He announced it on Tout le Monde en Parle this past Sunday's episode. Well, they get huge numbers, and I checked the numbers. Almost 1 million people watched that. So in terms of like, hello, folks, I'm doing this. I think that was probably a good way to let the world know that he's running, because he had released the book a couple of weeks ago, and there was sort of, will he or won't he? Well, he is pulling the trigger. He is throwing his hat in for the race. I'm wondering, he claims he's now more humble. He's got more of a team around him, and he wants to work on social housing, and he wants to work on expanding public transportation. I just wonder if people still have a bad taste in their mouth from the e-formula games. That sort of.
Can we let stuff go?
Yeah, I think they can. I think it's possible. It's just that large number that was wasted of $60 million. That's a biggie.
People said that the Champlain Bridge was wasted too, and I got to tell you, I was one of those. I didn't really appreciate that expenditure, but I got to tell you, when you go Google Montreal now, guess what you see?
Yeah.
Tourists are coming to take a picture of the lit up bridge.
Right. That is very true. So we'll see what happens. Can he give Mayor Plante a run for her money? Already there were a few polls. I think CJD did a poll, and yes, he can. As of right now, he can. Now we're about 8 months away out of the November election, and I guess in our sort of neighborhood, or our hood, if you will, we've got a few West Island mayors who are throwing their hats in the ring already. St. Anne de Bellevue,
Jim from Pierrefonds, Jim Bass,
we got Kirkland, Michelle Gibson.
Yeah, we've got Palahawa. I did an interview with her.
That's right. Edgar Rouleau out of Dorval, and I'm missing one. Oh, George Burrell in Beaconsfield.
Right.
So all of these are incumbents, and they're all, some of them are going for multiple terms. I think the longest one is Edgar Rouleau, who sort of took over the reins when Peter Yeomans retired all those years ago. So anyway, that's it. It should be interesting. I'm wondering if we'll have a race. I wonder if people will have the energy to go against an incumbent, especially where the last year sort of been in lockdown, COVID. You don't really.
I think it's the best year to do it. I think it's time to get up, get out. This is the time when you get to express yourself. I don't care if you run, don't run, but everybody over the age of 18 can run.
Yeah.
If you feel motivated, you can run for council. It's often having had the experience, I must say I would suggest a council position before a mayor position, if it's at all possible, because that makes a lot of sense. Your experience, it's like any job, going through the ranks is probably the best idea. It's time to run for council. I'd love to see some youth out there. 18 and over, guys. If you're 20, 21, it's a part-time gig. You too can make a little bit of extra money, and you can contribute to your community and speak out on behalf of your community.
A good idea for aspiring candidates for councillors or mayors would be to, get ahead of the files of what are the main issues in your community, in your municipality, in your precinct even, or your district rather. Yeah. Are you an attendee of council meetings? Are you on any committees in the city? These are sort of things that help as well, I would say. And also in terms of help, now you have done this before. I remember you went and talked about the National Assembly. You talked about new media and sort of the changes coming. And I remember that watching that tape, because some of those M&As you were talking to, I got the feeling they were like, wow, this is real. Like the new electronic media, the new age is coming, and now you're being asked back. So you must have done a good job the first time. You're going back, but this time you're going to give your expertise in terms of possible municipal election reform. Yes. Now, is this something that they want to do before this coming election, or is it more of a tank for further down the road?
Before the coming elections, it's early November, and this is a consultation. So yes, I've been asked to submit a brief by Greg Kelly. He's my M&A, and right. I've been asked to do this because I have a few things. Having run in 3 elections, won some, lost some, I have a good grasp on what I saw that was confusing and anti-democratic. So basically, right. what I've done is put up 7 free fixes to the flaws in our electoral system. Okay. Anything like the one glaring one is that the disciplinary committee is the legal clerk of the city. Financially, it's the DGEQ, the Elections Quebec. But if there's anything wrong with a ballot, with a box, if there's any kind of shenanigans, it goes back to the clerk herself, who sitteth at the right hand of the mayor and council, who have just been elected. So if I'm going to complain, I'm complaining to the person that won, in all likelihood, inadvertently. I'm not saying there's any kind of maliciousness or anything. Right. But inadvertently, if the clerk makes a mistake, she's judging herself, so she's got to give herself a rip, or she's got to fire herself, which is weird.
So it's a little bit like the referee of an NHL game is the assistant coach of one of the teams.
Thank you. So that said, you're sitting next to the elected officials in the office, and if you execute a complaint or agree with the resident who is complaining, right, you've now ripped your boss.
Gotcha.
So
I guess one of your suggestions would be to make that disciplinary clerk for an elections a neutral party.
I would like to see cost-free, like my whole presentation is free for the taxpayers. These adjustments to democracy can be made free. Switch out the clerks from it. Like the whole prep work is done by the clerk of the city of Kirkland, for example. Right. And Kirkland, on the day of the election and the day of the advance poll, they switch out Kirkland and Dollard, switch out their legal clerks, so that on the day, if there's anything that's disputed, they are not talking to the person that is sitting next to the person that's being disputed. It's too confusing. We need a conflict-free legal clerk who is in charge, who is in fact the scrutineer of the elections.
Right. Well, that's a great suggestion. And you got 6 more cookers like that.
I do.
So when are you going to give this presentation?
It's been submitted. I don't know. Usually you go and present at the National Assembly, but I don't know with COVID or how that's going to work out.
Maybe a Zoomer. Okay, cool. Well, that sounds great, Rhonda. I think we'll have to keep this open, because I'm sure we'll be able to follow up on this at some point. Because
I'm anxious to post my brief, because I did present my brief to the Rotary Club as a presentation. We tried it on them. I tried it on them, and they were dumbfounded that the 7 things that I would bring up were even possible.
Oh, that's great.
Like one being, you don't need to use your actual spelling of your name from your birth certificate on your poster. You can make your name look any old way you want it to look. If you prefer to have it in a language that suits you better, you can adjust your name to make it the language that your voters are. Like,
so I could run as Tipsy McStagger, and that would be fine.
That's exactly so. So I've seen it done. I've seen it done where a candidate will adjust their spelling of their name. Imagine letting your own soul go to the point where you change your name. I don't know how you do that, but anyway, you
Yeah.
change your name just to get votes. I don't know. Anyway.
That's
I want that change. It's going to be changed, I'm sure.
yeah, that's a bad
I think these things are just oversights, Kev.
right. Well, I mean, you know, change is always is good, and there's nothing wrong with some electoral reform, and especially if some of your contributions or some of the ideas from this consultation could result in more people voting, because municipal elections are notoriously low turnouts. You know,
17 years old and up will be asked to vote by mail, will be offered the right to vote by mail. I think we should all be having the right to vote by mail right now. Who's going to go? Who's going to necessarily go to a crowded poll?
that's a really good question.
Like, let's get set up to do mail-in. There are, there are worries about mail-in, but there's worries about, like, if any kind of shenanigans can take place. I mean, we've seen it, on the West Island. Shenanigans
Yes.
can take place anyway. So you may as well do the mail-in. Maybe Kirkland mails in their count to Beaconsfield, and Beaconsfield mails it into Kirkland, and this way the counters are not even,
Right.
the counters aren't even the residents of the city, so nobody has any interest.
Oh, interesting.
Something like that, whatever. And I know you have to put 2 pieces of ID with your ballot, so it would be better if your adjacent city was doing the count, because my name with my ballot choice is now connected. That's the first time ever that you're going to see my name on my license and who I voted for.
Yeah, I prefer if it's someone who didn't know me.
I think they should switch out the cities. There's easy fixes to these conflicts that, to me, like I said, they're oversights. They're just tweaks that need to happen. Like any business, you end up with having to fix things as you go along. Let's get to the fun part of this program, Kev, before we have to sign off.
Oh, nice. Yeah, well, we're now at the part of the We Want to Make Your Day giveaway. And happy to reveal last week's winner. Her name is Carol Deneen. So yay to you, Carol. So what you're going to do is, we've already told Cunningham's and they expect you. So you're going to give them a shout at 514-457-0080. Ask for Jim, and he's going to put aside your sauce sampler winning formula. I mean, your winning packet. So
it's the Halle Berry sauce, guys. It's the Halle Berry sauce plus a couple of extras, I think.
That's right. And this is kind of nice too. When Carol wrote to us the comment, she said, I would love a tasty treat. So you just won one. So we wanted to make your day. Now, next week, we're going to have another winner.
Yes,
we have to have another winner. Yeah. So it'll be another Cunningham sauce sampler.
Done it again. Cunningham giving us the thing again. They are sponsoring us for at least 4 shows, and we are open to other sponsors as well, guys. If you want to sponsor us and give us a little gifty to give to our people, let us know.
Yeah, if you want to help make someone else's day, take part. Let us know. Exactly. So there it is. So we will go through the comments, and we will take the names and we'll put them in a hat, and it'll be verified by an accounting firm, and then we will choose a winner, and next week we'll have another winner and another great show like we always do.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, Kev, thanks so much. Beyond the Headlines with Kevin Woodhouse. Have a good one.
All right. Cheers, Rhonda.
Cheers.